we got around like 52 staff nationally. Sectors we look after is government, non-government sectors such as your educational, health and finance sector, and retail is big for us as well. We are a little bit different to everyone in electronic security. We have a solution team who's looking after high technical challenges for our clients, and we've got a project team who's deliver, and we've got a procurement team as well as finance and accounts as well as service team. Of course, our sales team who is front of the client and account managers look after the customers in day in, day out. I think pandemic hit us probably 2020 March. That's the biggest hit for us, because as a business, our biggest challenge is can we go and serve our clients, and how we going to send our technicians to the sites and how we protect our technicians. And these are the guys, our foot soldiers in the front, what we have to do.
First thing we had to do was introduce a COVID safe plan and ensure that all staff had the appropriate PPE to protect themselves.
So we need to comply with given rules by the government.
Probably our biggest challenge was keeping up to date with the ever-changing government mandates and then informing our staff of those changes.
Initial challenges we had is how we can get our staff to work and how we get our guys to every client site. Then we have to operate as a business working from home.
We all had to change our mindsets and start working from home and no more face-to-face meetings.
The moving of conversations from the office floor and around the coffee machine and all that sort of stuff, changing that to the use of technology that's been there for a long time but has never been used.
And updating our current technology, upgrading our infrastructure is the current first challenge we face.
We believed internally that one of the key factors to resolving this was communication, pre-planning, and a bit of innovation.
I will say in March, a lot of people have forgot that. In dollar crash in March, middle of March, that really impact us. Suppliers, distributors, manufacturers, they increase their price. And because of the pandemic challenges, the shipping costs gone by 25%.
One of the main challenges that we faced was in terms of stock. The primary reason being there was component shortage across the globe because they don't have the raw materials to make that stock. Especially in terms of cameras, like access cameras. Some of the cameras had a lead time of about 14 to 48 weeks. Some of the cameras didn't even have a lead time. The first thing that we did was set up an internal meeting, and we decided to change our model, how we work, so that that model allows us to stock all these cameras and all the items with critical lead times. The second thing that we did was pre-purchase all the stock that we needed for the next 2 to 3 years. And the third thing was we wanted to ensure that we maintain the pricings that we have across the board for the next 1 or 2 years, which we actually did.
What we have done is continuously negotiating with our distributors and manufacturers to keep the cost as same, to provide the same service for the clients that agreed rates.
The service and support that is done online and remotely probably didn't change a lot, except for the customers got the benefit of more availability of people being instantly available and online.
As the pandemic moved on, our business have changed significantly. Then we had to invest a lot in the technology. We have spent a lot of money upgrading our IT infrastructure. We had to change our ERP system to a better system that support the clients as well as our staff who working, some of them still working from home to support these guys.
I think OmniVision was very successful in making that transition for a couple of reasons. One, we're a small organisation, so we're fleet of foot, that we can implement a new technology and have it rolled out to all of our staff very, very quickly. The level of focus that was put in by the management team at OmniVision was to sit there and say, well, okay, what are the challenges we're facing at various clients, Australia Post obviously just being one of those, but then being fleet of foot to be able to make those changes in process to say, well, okay, how do we do it better, how do we do it smarter, and how do we make it more effective for those clients?
Pandemics affected everyone, and I had to remind myself that we are in an unusual situation, and of course, with very limited resources as well.
Getting our resources on site was extremely challenging. We had to communicate with various stakeholders, clientele, builders, and internal resources. This was a high-stress environment, and it was a new environment for all of us.
The big challenge here is to find technicians, very difficult, and also the deadline is very difficult for us to achieve.
We believe that communication and innovation was the solution to the problem of resourcing. This was met by upping our communication with the client, communicating well with our builders and our procurement team.
Communicating with client was always the key.
We believe that innovation, bringing new ideas and new solutions into that space, would enable the client to deliver this project.
Some of the clients we had in middle of the pandemic, they grew by 30-40%. Then as a business, we also grew to that level. To support that, we have put a lot of infrastructure such as new technology to the business. And plus, when people actually getting rid of staff, we were hiring. We had like a 25% growth middle of the pandemic. Then Australia Post had a massive growth throughout the pandemic due to everyone ordering products online. As a business, we had a lot of challenges to support that growth. Then we had 4 to 5 distribution centers to deliver in this given short period. We deliver every project on time, on budget. Top of that, the service delivery for JLL group for all the service work, 34% positive and 0 negative reviews.
This was an extremely challenging time for OmniVision and the industry and all industries for that matter. I believe that OmniVision was one of the only companies in this industry that was actively growing. We were faced with challenges, we overcame those challenges. Our staff stepped up, our team was proactive and not reactive. We were on top of the game from day one. We had processes in play, we had people willing to do the work, we had teams assisting us, and the clientele that also was a big factor in that component of deliverables. This all equated to successful management of COVID within that period and helped OmniVision achieve its targets during that period.
To everybody's credit, we adapted so quickly. It was because of our open communication style with our staff and clients.
I really like to congratulate to our team and our technician as well. Throughout this pandemic, for the last 2 years, we completed 1,600 jobs. For me, that is the big result.
Then our leadership group shortly recognized that some of them required, some staff required some support. People who are living by themselves, how we can help them. What we have done is we create a buddy group concept. Then there's someone there to ring them if they need to talk to. Then every Fridays, we start everyone gathering on Teams, Zoom, having a chat, making a funny story, wearing funny hats, wigs. We try to create this to create a fun environment.